There was a lot of drama during my love story with Farrah. A lot of it was caused by my family and my kids. Ryan O'Neal used to seem like he had everything a guy could want. He was Hollywood's golden boy after the movie Love Story. And next to him was Farrah Fawcett, the woman every magazine said was the most beautiful woman in the world. To fans, they seemed perfect together. They were the ultimate power couple who lived a glamorous and romantic life. But when the cameras weren't rolling, their love was crazy and difficult. They broke up, got back together, and had lots of secrets they never talked about. For many years, Ryan stayed quiet about the worst truth about their relationship. And when he finally told everyone at age 82, it shocked people who thought they already knew their whole story. Their perfect image fell apart, and it was replaced by a heartbreaking confession that changed how the world remembered both of them. When people first saw Ryan O'Neal in the early 1970s, he was way more than just another good-looking guy in Hollywood. His big role in Love Story made him famous overnight, and the movie became super important in pop culture. People repeated lines from the movie, hung posters in their dorm rooms, and suddenly Ryan was the actor every movie studio wanted to hire. He looked like the perfect romantic leading man who showed young love and heartbreak. On the other side of fame, Farrah Fawcett was starting her own amazing rise to stardom. With her unforgettable smile, sun-kissed hair, and energy that seemed to brighten every room, she became a household name almost right away. Her famous red swimsuit poster sold millions of copies, making her one of the most recognizable women on Earth. When Ryan and Farrah met, the media quickly called them Hollywood royalty. To regular people, they looked like a perfect match. The charming movie star and the TV sweetheart, whose careers represented a golden time in entertainment. Tabloids and magazines printed photos of them at movie premieres, vacations, and fancy parties. Their relationship looked like the fantasy most people only dreamed about. Glamorous, exciting, and full of hope. For fans, Ryan and Farrah showed that true love could exist even under the bright lights of fame. But underneath all the glitter, real life was much more complicated. Their connection was obvious and strong, but people who knew them personally started to notice problems. Farrah's quick success made her a world-famous icon, and Ryan's career had to deal with staying popular in an industry that was already changing. Both of them felt huge pressure, and their relationship soon became a fight between wanting success, feeling insecure, and dealing with all the crazy demands of being celebrities. The problems in their seemingly perfect romance had already started to show, even though the public only saw their picture-perfect smiles on magazine covers. For Ryan and Farrah, the 1970s were the years that made them famous as a couple. They were the dream pair that captured people's imaginations. But they were also two strong people with very different needs. What looked like fate was actually the beginning of a love story filled with passion, chaos, and heartbreak. And while fans thought they were watching Hollywood's golden couple rise to fame, the truth was much more complicated. What happened next would show just how crazy and unstable this relationship really was. From the outside, Ryan O'Neal and Farrah Fawcett's romance sparkled like a Hollywood fairy tale. But people who were close to them knew a very different story was happening behind closed doors. Their relationship, which lasted almost 30 years, was anything but smooth. It was full of passion and strong feelings, but also fights that could start without warning. Friends remembered how the couple could be inseparable one moment and fighting the next, often breaking up, only to get back together again, like no time had passed at all. Part of the craziness came from Ryan himself. He later admitted that he struggled with being jealous and controlling. Farrah wasn't just admired, she was loved by people all over the world. Her picture was on bedroom walls, in shiny magazines, and on TV in people's homes every week. For Ryan, watching the whole world be fascinated with the woman he loved made him both proud and insecure at the same time. Rumors about cheating only made things worse, whether they were true or not. And their home life was often shaken up by not trusting each other. Farrah, on the other hand, was determined to build a career that was more than just being the face on a poster. She wanted people to take her seriously as an actress and often pushed against the limits that Hollywood tried to put on her. That drive sometimes clashed with Ryan's own career problems. While she was taking big risks, he was dealing with a series of ups and downs after his early big movie success. Instead of celebrating each other's wins, their relationship became a tug-of-war between wanting success and feeling bitter. Tabloids, always hungry for drama, painted their love life like the ultimate soap opera. One week they were seen together at a glamorous event. The next week, headlines screamed about them splitting up. Fans couldn't keep up with all the craziness. But what they didn't know was that this pattern of breaking up and getting back together had become the main rhythm of their love. It was messy, exhausting, but also magnetic. Neither Ryan nor Farrah could walk away for long, no matter how many times they tried. This pattern of crazy ups and downs would carry them well, beyond the glittery 1970s, into a new time where both their careers and their relationship would be tested in ways no one could have predicted. And just when it seemed like they might finally find peace, another big change would shift the direction of their story. By the early 1990s, the golden glow that once surrounded Ryan O'Neal and Farrah Fawcett had started to fade. Hollywood had changed, and so had they. Ryan, who had once been one of the most bankable leading men, found himself struggling to get roles that matched how promising his early career had been. Audiences had moved on, and Ryan often admitted that he didn't know how to reinvent himself for a new generation of movies. Meanwhile, Farrah was taking a different path. She had gotten rid of her reputation as just a TV star and poster icon, proving she had the range and dedication to handle serious dramatic roles. Her performances in stage shows and TV movies began to win her respect from critics, even if it meant stepping away from the glamorous image that had first made her famous. This difference in success created a growing gap between them. Farrah was looking for depth, meaning, and artistic fulfillment, while Ryan was wrestling with work frustration and personal demons. Friends of the couple noticed that their lives seemed to be going in opposite directions. Farrah was growing and changing, and Ryan was holding on to the past. That imbalance often turned their relationship into a battlefield of unmet expectations. By the late 1990s, the pair officially separated. After almost 20 years of craziness, it seemed like their story had finally reached its end. But even when they were apart, Ryan couldn't let go of what they had shared. Years later, he admitted that he wasn't the partner Farrah deserved. He confessed that being immature, proud, and selfish played a role in pushing her away. In interviews, he was brutally honest about how he failed to appreciate her when he still had the chance. "She was the love of my life," he said, "and I let her slip away." But while the world thought their romance had ended for good, their bond wasn't so easily erased. What no one knew at the time was that fate had another chapter waiting for Ryan and Farrah. One that would bring them back together under circumstances more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. In 2006, the story of Ryan O'Neal and Farrah Fawcett took a turn no one could have predicted. Farrah, the woman whose face had once symbolized health, beauty, and energy, got devastating news. She was fighting cancer, and the news sent shockwaves around the world. Fans who had loved her since her Charlie's Angels days watched in disbelief as she faced the toughest fight of her life. What made the story even more gripping was that Ryan, despite years of being apart, arguments, and regret, was suddenly right back by her side. Their reunion wasn't born out of Hollywood glamour, but out of necessity, loyalty, and love. Ryan, once accused of being too self-centered, took on the role of caretaker. He went with Farrah to treatments, protected her from pushy media when he could, and tried to give her comfort in a battle that was often brutal and public. For him, it wasn't just about supporting her physically. It was a chance to fix what had been broken, to prove that despite everything, his love for her had never really faded. Farrah, determined to stay in control of her own story, decided to share her journey with the world. In 2009, her documentary Farrah's Story aired, showing an honest look at her treatments, her struggles, and her courage. The special drew millions of viewers, many of whom were stunned by her openness. She had once been seen only as a glamorous starlet, but now she revealed herself as a fighter with raw human vulnerability. And through it all, Ryan was there. His presence was undeniable, his devotion clear to see. For those who had followed their roller coaster romance for decades, this chapter was both heartbreaking and redemptive. It seemed like life had forced them to strip away the drama and finally face what truly mattered. Ryan later admitted that those years at her side were among the most meaningful of his life. They weren't about fame or money. They were about love, stripped down to its core. But as powerful as their reunion was, the ending to this chap